Pokemon plushes! There are too many of them. I have too many of them. I'm gonna take a picture. Just the thing that's right next to me. That's just one of them. But I mean, come on, I talk about these things for a living. I gotta have an excuse. Do you have an excuse? Didn't think so. But for every Pokemon plush that exists, there are 4 others. Which makes exactly as much sense as it sounds. The Pokemon Company recently revealed a new set of Ditto plushes. The ones where they take basically an already existing plush and make it cheaper to mass produce by removing the detailed face. And yet people still buy them. What? I have an excuse. But you, hang on just a minute, Busters. Everything is wrong about this one. At least according to various people on the internet. But is this wrong? Or are they all wrong? What's going on with the Ditto-Mimikyu plush, and how does it add to the lore of the Pokemon world in a surprisingly significant way? Well, that's what we're discussing today. This video is brought to you by Display. Check out these awesome metal posters that are perfect gifts for any of your nerdy friends. If you check them out with the link below, you'll be directly supporting this channel, and be sure to use coupon code Lockstin15 for 15% off. So, ever since the Gen 1 episode of the Pokemon anime featuring a Ditto that sucked at being a Ditto, people have associated this facial quality with all Dittos, even though that was never intended to be how they work. In the games, Dittos work the way they should, the way they were always intended to work. They see an opposing Pokemon, they transform into it. Done! They have the proper eyes and mouth and everything. It's great. And even Mimikyu! And heck, Execute! Pokemon with multiple faces! It works as intended in the games. But at the height of Pokemon fever, when Pokemon was at its most popular, the anime aired an episode about a particular Ditto. Just one. This Ditto was a unique case. It was a Ditto that could transform into whatever, as it should, but it had a hard time changing its face, so it just didn't. That is, of course, until the end of the episode when it got over, or fixed, its issues, and thus make its face match whatever it was transforming into. But apparently, everybody missed that part of the episode, because everybody fell in love with Ditto Face, even though it means that the particular Ditto in question is a complete failure.
Oh, you be nice, he's trying his best.
Regardless, it got popular. People liked the concept of their Ditto being bad at the one thing it's good for, so it took off. Finally! A plush I can relate to. Soon enough, the trading card game started featuring Ditto cards with a transformed Ditto with the Ditto eyes and mouth, and soon enough, it just sorta came to be that it was synonymous with how Ditto works in everything besides the games. And thus the Pokemon Company saw a brilliant merchandising opportunity. Take popular Pokemon plushes and make them cheaper to produce by giving them a cute Widow Ditto face. People will love it. Ah, finally! A plush I can relate to. But now here comes Mimikyu. How would a Ditto with Ditto face turn into a Mimikyu? Well, like this. Apparently, we already have the answer. It's an official plush. But why like this? Because this is not Mimikyu's face. This is. This up here is a disguise that it made to mimic Pikachu, hence the name. It's extremely envious of Pikachu and wants to look like him. This disguise works really well, apparently. It gives it an ability that allows it to tank a single hit with no problem, because the opponent hits the disguised head instead of it. So I guess if it's good enough of a disguise to fool most Pokemon this way, then it would also fool a Ditto into thinking that this is the head too. Thus, this Ditto plush. After all, no one besides Mimikyu knows the true form of Mimikyu. We've seen it without the costume in the anime, but it's just a black cloud with sparkly eyes. Spooky. But this just begs so many questions. If Ditto knew the true form, the Ditto face would be down here. So clearly, Ditto doesn't know its true form. But when Ditto transforms, it gains all of the abilities and moves that that Pokemon knows, meaning Ditto would have to know how Mimikyus walk and attack with their ghostly appendages from under the disguise. But if it knows how to do that, then the face wouldn't be up here because it knows everything about it in order to transform into it. What's going on? Ah! Oh, maybe Dumb Ditto is just that bad at transforming. It thinks that's the face, but it also knows how all of the ghostly arm stuff works, so it does all that too. It's capable of doing all the regular Mimikyu stuff, but it still doesn't realize that its eyes are down here. just because it's dumb. It's probably a good thing, though. Ignorance is bliss. And if people are incapable of knowing its true form without just dying, maybe Ditto just happens to be dumb enough to know most of its true form, but it's too stupid to realize that it makes no sense. So, what little mind it has is fine. Ah, finally! A plush I can relate to. And once again, thanks so much to Displate for supporting our channel. We actually have our own line of Displates now, which supports the channel tremendously. So again, check out that link below, coupon code LOCKSTIN15. And until next time, never stop using your noggin.